Hi, I'm Lexi, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video is about a body type analysis that I had done to help me sort of try to figure out what clothes I should be buying or what shapes will be most flattering on me. The body type analysis that I had done is based on the Kibbe body type system. If you know what the Kibbe body type system is and you don't want to hear me explain it, I'll put the timestamp on the screen so that you can just skip to me talking about my analysis. But real briefly, I'll kind of go and explain what the Kibbe body type system is. Okay, so let's talk about the Kibbe body type system. By the way, I filmed this already once, and while I was editing, I just didn't think that I did a very good job talking about it, so I've decided to go back and talk about it again, but that's why my hair is different. And so after this, when I start talking about my results, my hair will go back to the way it was. In the introduction, I combed the curls out because they were getting kind of frizzy, and now I've just got like this like frizzy like comb. I love it. I love it. This is my preferred hair aesthetic. Anyway, so what I want to say is the Kibbe body type system is a system designed on the ideas of, I guess, yin and yang, being not necessarily like you have masculine energy or you have feminine energy, but just these two concepts, yang being more like your bone structure and yin being more the flesh on that bone. And the system is supposedly disrespectful, not disrespectful. It doesn't regard body weight. So the idea is that no matter what your weight, you're going to be the same body type, which is a lot different than other systems that are like, well, you're a pear, you're an apple because you are, heavier now, and maybe later you'll lose weight or gain weight and change body type. So the Kibbe system is different from that. The Kibbe system also doesn't seek to correct your body type into an ideal. It's not saying dress this way and you'll hide your unsightly waist, or you'll dress this way to create the illusion of curves. It's not like that at all. It is taking what is uniquely you and saying, let's emphasize that. Let's dress in harmony with that. So not to counteract it. So for instance, if you are completely long and tall and very narrow, it's going to recommend a lot of clothes that are narrow and long and with sharp angles to complement that. And they, when you watch a lot of YouTubers about it, and I'll put some YouTuber names on the screen here and also in the description box below that like really talk about this system and kind of break it down. But a lot of those YouTubers will show like celebrity examples of a celebrity dressing with their lines and a celebrity dressing without their lines. And supposedly that's like, you're supposed to be able to see from those pictures. A lot of people have problems with the Kibbe body system because they reject all systems or the idea of someone telling them what to wear. There are also a lot of issues that people have with all of the examples used in the system tend to be thin, attractive white women. So there are a lot of issues that raises, both because you're supposed to compare your features to a norm. Like, are your features kind of in the middle, or are they sharper or softer? And like that norm is held up in that system to be like an attractive white woman. So that's problematic to say the least. But there are a lot of good things about the system. So I've kind of talked about some of the pros and cons without actually talking about David Kibbe or the system itself. But David Kibbe is like this stylist guy from the 80s who himself like apparently was influenced heavily by his mentors, who were some women who came up with like these kind of like the fundamentals of this idea of this body type system, and he sort of like expounded on it, and he wrote this book called Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis has this system with this yin and this yang, and the combination of those two things create 13 different body types. They're generally divided into 5 categories. So you have the dramatic and the romantic, which are the two extremes and are just like pure types. And then you have gamine, natural, and classic. So David Kibbe wrote this book, and in this book he uses a lot of terminology that actually once again, people take issue with this part of it, is the terminology is people think is associated with like negative traits. They take that terminology negatively. So some of the things that they're talking about, like width or bluntness, like are your bones blunt? Do you have to accommodate your width when dressing? And they don't literally mean like, girl, your butt is too wide, you need to accommodate that. And that's not what it's supposed to mean, but I think a lot of people take it that way, especially because there's a quiz at the end of the book. And so, you know, I guess David Kibbe originally intended for when you take the quiz, you've already read the whole book. So you know what he means by those terms. And when he says curves, he doesn't literally mean, do you have hips? Because newsflash, every human does. Most femme people have, you know, curves of some sort, but that's not what he's asking. When he means curves in his book, he assumes that you've read the whole book and you know that he means the way your flesh sits on the body, or just the way the bones are, like the joints are, if they rounded, or you got like pointy, sharp joints. And these are things that can apply at any weight. So it's not like, you know, people take the test and they're like, well, I'm overweight, so every answer was just curved, 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 curved. I guess every overweight person is a romantic body type. But so that can be kind of confusing. Now, I personally, when I found the system, I found that I was a soft dramatic. It just jumped right out to me as like, yes, this is who I am. The clothes examples are all clothes that I know from experience look best on me. Whether or not I really want to wear those clothes, I have found those are the clothes that look best on me. And just the celebrity examples are celebrities I've always felt like a kinship, like especially Christina Hendricks was apparently like a textbook soft dramatic. And from the first time I saw her, I was like, girl, we've got something in common. I knew it was like something about the set of her shoulders and like the shape of her hips and her waist was, I saw myself in that. And we're vastly different sizes, and that's fine. But something to me was familiar. And then sure enough, I'm like, that's my body type. And when I'm talking about the section on my result from Rebekah, that's what I got. So that kind of confirmed that. And I feel like because of that, because so much of it kind of rang true, I really felt like okay with the system. If you're not, like, soft dramatic is kind of one of the more extreme types. If you're in the middle, if you're kind of like one of the natural types or one of the classic types, I think it can be really kind of difficult to figure out what you are. So I think that's why a lot of people also get frustrated with the system. But I like the system. I like that it encourages you to accentuate your personal type of bone structure and not correct yourself to some preconceived norm. I think that there are issues with it. I'd really love to see people take this system and like create a better, more representative, more diverse, and just like create a better system from it. A system that people can be happier with. Also, David Kibbe himself is still around in a Facebook group called Simply Kibbe, which he has said that only women can be members. And then he himself is a member where he comments and talks to people, but he uses someone else's Facebook account, like this other woman's Facebook account. So anyway, you guys, I'm not going to get too into depth with the system. I don't want to just be like, watch some other YouTuber, because, I mean, you're here watching me, so I should be explaining this to you. But there's a lot of nuance there. I found out about this myself through YouTube. And recently, Tiffany Ferg did a 2-part series, and she does like really long 45-minute videos. So she spent an hour and a half talking about the pros and cons and the system and issues with David himself. But suffice to say, I personally have been pleased with the results of the system in general for me, but that is because I found myself easy to type. I think that people that are having struggles, I think for me, what could be the best way is to look at the clothes that are associated with each type and then say, well, what type of clothes objectively usually end up looking better on me? And that was another way at which I was like, yes, I'm a soft dramatic. So And so now I'm going to return it to past Lexi as she talks about the body type analysis and style analysis, style recommendations given by Rebekah. Okay. I think one of the other problems that a lot of people have with the Kibbe system is that Kibbe himself, I think, unfortunately associated style too much with lines. Like, if you're a gamine, you should be wearing shorter lines and like, you know, like a shirt that's buttoned up, and things like that. But he also then associated style with that. So if you're gamine, you must want to wear quirky clothes. And if you're a soft dramatic like me, you always want to dress like the femme fatale. And that's not my jam at all. And I've always kind of known that those types of clothes look best on my body, but those are types of clothes that I haven't really had much interest in wearing. So I thought that I would get not only just the body type analysis, but with the style consultation with my body type consultation with Cozy Rebekah, so that I could have her help in saying, this is the style I want. How do I get that style in my lines, right? Because I want a style that doesn't quite jive with the supposed lines that I have. So I went online. I went onto Cozy Rebekah's website, and she has a section, you know, for consultations. And I did the deluxe consultation, the one that has the body type analysis and the style boards. So right away, she got back to me within a day or two and said that I was a soft dramatic, and I was like, yeah, I know. I mean, no, it's great to have confirmation, but it wasn't a huge surprise. I feel very kind of lucky that I've always felt like very clearly fit into one category. A lot of people struggle with the Kiwi system and don't know where they fall, but I feel like without a doubt, that's always been my thing. And so it was nice to have the confirmation. So she got back to me right away with that information. So I also had filled out a questionnaire about my desired style. And what I told her basically was, I want to look like Kate Blanchett from Ocean's 8 or like Miley Cyrus from the Midnight Sky music video. So it's this sort of like cool, like glam rock, like rock and roller. And I said that even though like that's not the only style I'm interested in dressing, I said that because those are styles that I have trouble with like putting on my frame or knowing how to do that with my lines, like with what looks good for my body. Because what I'm drawn to in those style are like the long lines, these like sort of like this androgynous look, and my body is not really androgynous. Like it's pretty clearly like wide hips and big boobs and like, so I have struggle pulling off those lines. So that's what I asked her for. So I asked her for advice on how to do that. And so a couple days after she told me like, yep, you're a soft dramatic and I'll get back to you with the style information, you know, in a little bit, because it says in the website, like it takes a while to do these whole style consults. Oh, I also want to add, I had to send her pictures of myself. So I sent her pictures of myself wearing like tight clothes and like close-ups of my face in a couple different types of light, but as close to natural light as I could. And I did it with no makeup so that I wasn't accidentally creating like an artificial line, because that's what makeup does. Like it creates artificial lines to like change the shape of our face. So I send her pictures without makeup and wearing like tight clothes so that she could see my body shape. So a few days later, she sent me an email with pictures. And the pictures were numbered. And so then she was like, tell me which ones you hate. Tell me which ones you like. Tell me the reasons why. And because I think she wanted just like a little more information about my style. I had already told her like what fabrics and colors I'm drawn to and like my hair and things like that. So she already knew like some of that stuff, but I think she wanted, you know, a little more because she wants to tailor it to your tastes. So I went through and I told her. Now I'll go through and tell you what I told her about each of these pictures. So I have my phone here and I'm just like reading off of it so I can tell you what I told her. So I said, my favorites are 1, 3, 19, and 21. I think they look really sleek and modern, but also badass. I like the larger pant leg size of 21 and that my waistline is visible. For number 1, I love, love, love that the jacket is tailored. That looks amazing and like it fits the model perfectly. Number 3 is really cool because the shoulders give off a masculine energy, which is what I really like. 19 is cool because I think it's a matching set, which is kind of rare these days, and it's like really 70s, and I love sequins. So those are the items I was drawn to. Then I said my non-favorites are the slips in numbers 4 and 5 because I think they look shapeless and bad on my body. And like I still hold to that. I think that a slip, like something with no tailoring or no waist definition, like I have slips or I have dresses that fit like that, and I know that they would look terrible. So I said that they look shapeless and bad on my body. Number 8, because it's kind of how I already dress, and I want something like, I want help figuring out something more suit-like and more dressed up in a masculine androgynous vibe. And then number 15, because I think it's a bit shapeless for me, and I personally find the silhouette like kind of outdated, not what I really like. But I said I couldn't put my finger on exactly what I didn't like about number 15, just that I didn't like it. So that was the feedback that I sent her. Then she sent me back some questions about corset belts and whether I was like against them or whether I was okay with them, which I thought was nice because I feel like that's definitely an all or nothing thing. Like some people will hate them and some people will like love them and want to try to work like over corsets or corset belts into a lot of different looks. So I said I've never really been a fan before, but like I'm not opposed. I'm trying to update my style. And that she had sent me several pictures, and I said I preferred the ones that were under bust as opposed to the ones that were over bust and looked just more like wearing a whole corset. So finally, about 2 weeks after that feedback, she sent me my final consultation document. So the final concentration document, again, talked about my body type. It talked about the fact that I have sharp yang bones with, I have sharp yin bones with sharp yin flesh, and that I'm a soft dramatic. So then there's like a lot of information about the body type and the general lines that work with that. And then she went into talking about, like, first it's like general, like V-necks and soft plush materials with lots of like texture. It said straight leg pants, which spoiler alert, like my next video coming up is that I rented a whole bunch of pants, like 25 pairs of pants to try on and try to figure out what my best pant leg style is. And like, I think as much as I really want wide leg pants, like straight leg pants. It's why it's been so hard to get away from skinny jeans. But yeah, so straight leg pants. And then she started going into specific items. So she again went with the satin camisole slip look, but she had kind of changed this to being like as a top. So it's tucked in. So there's waist definition. For hair and makeup, a full rounded shape. So these are kind of like general advice things I've seen in a lot of places. And then she started showing specific tops that would be good for me. So she said for tops, I would be good in satin camisoles, velvet camisoles, cropped turtlenecks, silk or satin button-up blouses, mock neck sweaters, sweater vests, which I kind of have to disagree. I think even the people in the pictures, like my body would not look good in those. So I don't know, it's kind of crazy. But then waterfall cardigans. And then for bottoms, she started talking about high-rise straight leg trousers, high-rise straight leg jeans, boot cut jeans, high-rise, and corduroy pants, because I think, again, relating back to that like texture thing, I want like soft, rich texture. For dresses and skirts, she said fitted satin dress, but the pictures that she sent me, they're like, I don't know that they're that fitted. Like there's 2 of them are satin dresses where someone just put a jacket or a sweater over the top so you can't see that it's not fitted at the waist. And the other one, it looks like they put a belt over, which is like totally valid to say belt it. Then like a blazer dress, which is really fun, and midi skirts. That's something I've also realized is that like mini skirts just don't do me justice. I've got like nice long legs, but when I wear a mini skirt to show them off, it ends up just like the having a horizontal line in the middle of my legs just makes them look short. And on some people they look great, and on me I just think it's not even about showing leg. I'll show leg all day. It's just not flattering. So then she started talking about jackets, and she said fitted blazers, like long leather trench coats, and then like these fur trimmed coats from the 70s, which like these wide fur collars, and then they with like a fur at the bottom or fur along the edge. And so for accessories, she said corset or corset belt, pointed toe flats or loafers. And like I've really been getting into loafers lately, so it's like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of this stuff is like, well, I'll get into that after I go through what she said. And then she said like go-go boots, big resin earrings, which like I have like 6 pairs over there, and sequined clutches, and glamorous makeup. So for hair, she said like big soft curls, which I did today. I've talked about in my other videos how I want to start doing curls more, and like I did them like a couple days ago. Like I did curlers and set it with setting lotion. So, but I've also like showered so the humidity kind of flattened them. So it's like sort of curly, but, and then, so yeah, big soft like 70s kind of curls. And then like, even if I want it straight, then to try to make it do this thing, which is really funny that she says that. Cause I remember being a little kid being like, Mom, does my hair look good like this? Cause I saw it in like a movie and being like, ooh, and my mom being like, I don't know, you're weird. And so, okay, let's talk about how I feel about her results. So first of all, me already knowing that I'm a soft dramatic, I think that some of this advice, I was just like, okay, yeah, that kind of fits with what I already knew. Second of all, I've been on a fashion journey. Like if you're following my channel, you know that I've been on a fashion journey. And these are things that some of this stuff is things I've already kind of discovered about myself that would look best. And I'm trying to work towards wearing that stuff already. So, especially with like the makeup and the hair, but also just like I said, I recently found out the hard way with trying like 25 different pairs of wide leg pants and realizing that they just don't make me look good. And as much as people think that like, oh, hourglass figures, you know, I've heard a lot of people say like, yeah, bell bottoms and boot cuts and wide legs and flares look great on those figures, but I think I look terrible in them. And that's one advantage of the Kibbe system is it's more nuanced than just hourglass, pear, apple. You know, 2 people can be hourglass or 2 people can be pear and look completely different in clothes. And I think that the Kibbe system is a bit more nuanced, and I've found it to be a little bit more exact in predicting what will look good on me. So do I think that it's worth it to spend, I think it was $200 on this consultation? I don't know. I don't think it necessarily was in my case because I already knew what I wanted. It is, how do I put this? So I already knew what I was, right? I already knew I was a soft dramatic, and I've had a lot of trouble, but I've had a lot of trouble finding like soft dramatic style inspirations that aren't very like kind of like vintagey, bombshelly kind of stuff. So I appreciate the recommendations she has, and I'm definitely going to look into some of them. That being said, knowing that I'm a soft dramatic, I've already sort of been like scouring the internet for things that I think would look good on me. And if you saw my video about like analyzing my Pinterest fashion inspiration, I kind of already was trying to, like, you already see that a lot of the stuff that I was kind of focusing in on were things that I knew that would look good on my body type that I've learned in the last, 35 years of dressing myself. So I think that she definitely came up with some new ideas for me, but I think a lot of this was stuff like that I'd already figured out very recently, though, only because I'm like taking like a very scientific kind of, not scientific, but like controlled, kind of organized approach to analyzing my fashion and like kind of overhauling my wardrobe. These are some things that I already had kind of figured out in the last year on my own. If I hadn't been already doing all this and I was just someone who is like, man, every time I go to the store, the clothes that I buy that I like in the store, I bring them home and they just don't work for me. They don't look good on me. Like where I was basically a year ago before my no-buy year started, I think that this would have been a lot more helpful to me. I also think that if you don't know your body type or you're having problems understanding your lines or that this could really help. And I think that even if you're not someone who believes in the Kibbe body system or believes in body systems at all, getting this consultation could really help, because if you ignore the whole first part about me being a soft dramatic and you just focus in on, these are the recommendations for my personal lines, and she did go, you know, with my personal lines and my personal style in mind, I think that the suggestions are pretty like good, right? They're pretty good for me, even if you edit out like the words about soft dramatic or whatever. I feel that the recommendations are really good for me. So what can I do with this information to help me with my wardrobe and my wardrobe journey? Basically, I'm going to, I think it's going to encourage me to try things that I ordinarily wouldn't have tried. So I'm definitely going to take her advice on trying on some corset belts. I'm going to try to find some silky blouses. Now, I don't really want to wear like camisole tops. I still think that she's a little off on that one, but I want to try to find silky blouses. I'm also very inspired by the wardrobe of Gal Gadot in Wonder Woman 1984. Like, I've been super inspired by her blouses. Even that dress that she wore, that like white dress that was literally just like, hey, take this blouse and turn it into a dress. That's what it looks like a blouse grew into a dress. I've been pretty inspired by that. So I've been wanting to sort of check out some silky blouses anyway, but that's, I really like that advice. So I think I'm going to follow that. I've also kind of pretty much decided to stop fighting my type. So I've been dressing in what I consider, or what I kind of conceived in my mind of as like girly punk or girly rocker. And I realize now that those lines are like gamine lines, that a lot of the lines I'm drawn to are gamine lines, and they just aren't working for me. And for a long time I was like, I'm just going to wear what I want because it makes me happy. But what makes me happy is not looking bad, not seeing pictures of me and thinking, gosh, those clothes don't suit me. I look really like stocky and like cut up, and like I think that I look great, and I want to have clothes that help me look great. So I've a little bit decided to stop fighting my type, and that's why I've been trying to curl my hair more, try to have more like volume up top, and also kind of go back to glamorous makeup, because prior to starting this wardrobe overhaul fashion journey series, I was doing like the no makeup or minimal makeup for years, very youthful makeup, very Japanese Korean style makeup. For a couple years I was on that kick. So I've just kind of, decided to stop fighting my type, and actually I've been super happy because I feel confident, because I feel like I look better. I would love to hear your thoughts on what you think of the Kibbe body system, if you guys would ever pay for this service. I am glad I did it, but I don't know that it was worth $200 for me personally. I think that, do you think that you would do that? And so yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you next week. Bye! Let's go!